While I was fixing my dad's car, he recorded me and sent it to the family chat. Look at this loser, he's fixing cars for free. Then cousins were laughing in the chat. Then dad sent it to Facebook and wrote, look at this failure. I got angry and left. 3 days later, my phone exploded with calls from dad and relatives, begging me to undo what I did. But it started with the damn alternator. My dad's old Ford wouldn't start, and he couldn't afford to take it to a shop. He called me like he always did when something broke, not because he respected my time or skills, but because I wouldn't charge him. He just expected it. I was slammed with work that morning, but I dropped everything and raced over. I kept hoping this time would be a game changer. Maybe he'd toss me a simple, thanks, buy me lunch, or just show a shred of appreciation. Instead, he handed me a barely cool Gatorade, muttered that it'd wrap up fast, and then disappeared back inside to zone out in front of the TV. I was out in the driveway, under the hood for almost 2 hours. The sun was brutal, my arms were covered in grease, and my back was killing me from bending over the engine. My shirt clung to my skin like a second layer, and each bolt I grabbed might as well have been searing hot straight from a weld. But I didn't breathe a word of complaint. I'd grown used to this sweltering grind. Then, out of the corner of my eye, I spotted him. He was standing on the porch, phone in hand, filming every move I made. I thought maybe it was one of those weird dad things, like he was proud but didn't know how to say it. I even gave a little nod to the camera like an idiot. I didn't realize what he'd done until I checked my phone during a water break. I had a bunch of notifications from the family group chat. Usually, it's just boring forwarded memes and birthday messages, but this time, it was a video of me hunched over the engine, wiping sweat from my brow with the back of my hand, and the caption, look at this loser fixing cars for free like it's 1952. I just stared at it. Then the comments started. My cousins Nathan, Eric, and Josh jumped in first. LOL classic Kyle, let me know when he's done, I got a toilet that needs scrubbing. Should have at least gone to trade school bro. Even my aunt threw in a he's such a sweet kid, bless his little heart, which kind of made it worse. I wasn't mad, yet. That changed the second my coworker sent me a screenshot 5 minutes later. My dad had posted the video on Facebook for all to see, with a snarky caption, check out this loser, free work and still slow #family discount. It blew up. 60 comments rolled in, from folks I hadn't talked to since high school, all laughing, tagging friends, and sharing the humiliation. People I used to be friends with, girls I used to like. One guy said, didn't that guy cry once in gym class and it got 19 likes? I didn't say anything, I didn't respond to the messages. I just put my tools back in the trunk, closed the hood, and drove away. No goodbye, no explanation. I stayed with a friend that night, told him I needed space. He didn't ask any questions. On the third day, my phone started blowing up, 30 missed calls, voicemails. One from my mom sobbing, another from my dad that started out quiet and ended up screaming. My cousins texted too, suddenly trying to sound friendly. Then my uncle messaged me directly, Kyle, what did you do? Fix this now. I just locked eyes on the screen. They were clueless, totally in the dark about what I'd been up to. They still saw me as that same spineless kid, the one who'd take their jabs without a word. The one who'd sit mute at family barbecues while they cracked jokes about my hobbies, asked if I was still living out of my car, or if fixing engines was some childish phase. What they didn't know was I'd been plotting my comeback for months. Not an exit from the family, but from the doormat version of myself they'd been walking all over. What none of them realized was that fixing cars wasn't just a hobby anymore. I've been building something behind the scenes. I've been flipping cars on the side, slowly accumulating money. I registered my own LLC. I had a shop lined up, papers filed, business name locked down. And 2 weeks before that Ford broke down, I made a deal with a small local shop that needed an experienced hand. The owner was ready to retire, we finalized the transfer, I was about to take over a business, a real one. So when I pulled out of the driveway, I didn't just go to my friend's house, I went to my soon-to-be garage and worked late into the night. I called the guy who sold it, asked if he'd mind speeding things up. He said yes, he liked my hustle. By the time the family chat was over, the paperwork was done, I had the keys in my hand. But that wasn't what started it all, that's not why they panicked. 3 days after my dad's post, I uploaded something of my own, a video just like his, except mine was shot in my new shop, clean, organized, with a bright red Mustang on the elevator behind me. I stared straight into the camera, calm as can be. No trace of anger, just the cold, hard truth. Some of you might have seen that video where I got called a loser for fixing a car. That car? It belonged to my dad. He didn't pay me, and I never asked him to. But here's the kicker, while he was too busy filming me and having a good laugh, I was out here grinding, building something from the ground up. This is my brand, new auto shop. I own it now, it's all mine. I stepped to the side, letting the camera capture the room, the tools, and the framed license on the wall. The shop's name, Free Labor Auto, was clearly visible. I paused and quipped, yeah, it's named after that joke. Thanks for the marketing, Dad. Then I smiled, not out of pride, but because I knew what was about to unfold. Within 24 hours the post exploded. People shared it, commented, DMs started coming in from strangers offering support, asking for work, saying they were related. Other mechanics began tagging me, the local news even reached out. And my dad called me 7 times in one morning, left 4 voicemails. Then he posted a status, some people are ungrateful. They twist the truth to make themselves look good. Family first always. It got 5 likes, all from relatives. But then a funny thing happened. My cousins, the very ones who'd been snickering, started blowing up my phone. Josh slid into my DMs, saying he didn't mean any harm and that my new venture was seriously dope. Nathan reposted my shop promo on his story, and Eric dropped a bunch of fire emojis in the comments like the whole mocking thing never went down. And then my uncle, the one who told me to fix it, tagged me in a post offering to sponsor a family car day at my shop. They were all trying to get back on board. They had no idea I wasn't done. I ignored the messages at first, let them pile up. I watched them twist themselves into knots trying to sound supportive, like they'd always believed in me. I wanted to see how far they'd go. Then my dad showed up at the store. I was in the middle of changing the oil in a customer's Civic when I heard someone banging on the windshield. I looked up and there he was, standing outside like a man who just realized the ATM ate his last 20. I didn't move, I just stared until my coworker unlocked the door. He walked in like he owned the place, didn't even say hi, just started telling me that I was being dramatic, that I had humiliated him in front of his whole family, that I had made him look like a fool on the internet. Not once did he mention the original video. Then he said the thing that finally broke me, "You wouldn't have this place if it wasn't for me." I actually let out a laugh, not because it was remotely funny, but because it was so absurdly delusional. He was trying to strong-arm me into taking down my video and making a new one, where I'd thank him, of all things. Thank him for what? For humiliating me? For calling me a loser in front of hundreds of people? He rambled on about how the family was squirming over the public spectacle, how it was an embarrassment, and that I needed to clean up the mess, as if I'd shattered some unwritten family code. So I fixed it. I uploaded a new video that night, a long one, not just me talking. Update: while I was fixing my dad's car, he recorded me and sent it to the family chat. Look at this loser, he's fixing cars for free. Then cousins were laughing in the chat. Then dad sent it to Facebook and wrote, look at this failure. I got angry and left. 3 days later, my phone exploded with calls from dad and relatives, begging me to undo what I did. But this one had transcripts, clips from the Facebook post, group chat screenshots, voicemails, a compilation of the laughter, the abuse, the smug texts, each one neatly displayed with names blurred, just enough to raise doubts without completely obscuring them. Then I did something I hadn't planned. I cracked open a folder I'd stashed away for years. It was stuffed with damning evidence, photos, texts, recordings. They didn't just document the car fiasco. They captured my entire childhood in this house, the countless times my dad embarrassed me in front of friends, family, and teachers, his drunk, jeering appearance at my graduation, the day he told my college girlfriend I was too weak for her. It was all there, layered and ugly. I didn't tell a sob story, I just laid it all out and let people see the pattern. And then I ended it with this: I'm not asking for sympathy, I'm not asking anyone to cancel it. I just want to set the record straight. I'm not a loser, I'm not ashamed of where I come from, but I'm not going to let anyone, family or not, rewrite my story while I'm still writing it. This video hit harder than the first. The local garage community supported me again, but this time it went further. Mechanics all over the country shared it, then therapists, then a non-profit for adult children of abusive homes reposted it with a link to my shop. That's when things really took off. The next day I had 3 offers of sponsorship. A podcast invited me to be a guest speaker, an auto parts company offered to supply my shop for a year. Orders came in for branded merchandise, people were literally wearing free labor auto hoodies like it was a movement. And my family, they went nuts. The cousins who changed their tune started squabbling in the group chat. Some stuck up for me while others dug in their heels. They called me an attention seeker and said I was betraying our family. One even tried to guilt trip me by sending an old childhood photo asking, "You really gonna toss all this aside?" But the real shocker? My mom texted me, saying dad was in the hospital, hit with a genuine panic attack. For a split second, I thought it was a heart attack. Her message ended with a gut punch: "Are you happy now?" I reread it 3 times, then shut off my phone. I wasn't ready to deal with this, not by a long shot. I didn't rush to the hospital as my mother probably expected. I sat with the message "Are you happy now?" and let it sink in. It was so true the way she made it about me, like I'd put him there, like his panic attack had just materialized out of my silence, not from the years of manipulation or the lies or the circus he made of my life. Still, part of me needed to know if he was really there. So 2 days later, I drove over, not to visit, just to see. I parked across the street from the hospital side entrance and waited. It didn't take long. There he was, not in a hospital gown, not attached to anything, just sitting in a wheelchair like it was a prop, wearing his usual windbreaker, cigarette in one hand, phone in the other. My mom hovered beside him, pacing restlessly like she'd rather be anywhere in the world. She kept stealing glances at him, as if waiting for his next move. He looked fit as a fiddle, no signs of frailty or fear, just pure irritation etched on his face. Finally, he passed her his cigarette and started swiping through his phone, acting like he was answering urgent emails. It was like watching an actor take a breather between takes on a movie set. I stayed in the car and watched until they went back inside. Then I went in through the side entrance and found a nurse near the elevator. I told her I was his nephew. She didn't even ask any questions, she just said he wasn't in cardiac care, had been discharged after some anxiety-related symptoms, and had come in mostly because he didn't feel like being at home. That told me everything. I left without saying anything. That night he called. I picked up. He started talking as if nothing had happened. No apology, no mention of the videos or the group chat or Facebook, just straight to business. Said he had seen my video, the one where I laid it all out, told me it was well done, and that he respected the hustle. Then, he said something that made me grip the phone tighter. "You're making a name for yourself now. You and me, we could make something out of this, a brand, a father-son redemption arc. People eat that up." I kept my mouth shut as he rambled on. He dropped a bombshell. Channel 4, a local news station, had reached out, eager to run a heartwarming piece about me. He claimed he'd chatted with them, playing the role of the remorseful dad, painting himself as a misunderstood man who'd made a share of blunders but was now all about mending fences. Then, he hit me with the kicker, they want us both on air. I thought it would be good if we did it together. I already sent them some old pictures, from your 10th birthday party. Thought it would make a good story. I asked him outright why he thought I'd agree to that. He didn't even hesitate, because you're not stupid. This is exposure.